Okay, today we have a lot of C Beauty product to try. This is the last try-on haul of my C Beauty haul, whatever I bought during the Chinese New Year that I was back in China. The brand that I have most things from is Judy Doll. Blushes, I have eyeliner, the super viral mascara, and I also have their eyeshadows, which one of them is a dupe to the Space Cowboy from Urban Decay, and some eyebrows, and also some other brands like a collaboration between Red Earth, a Chinese brand, and GOSS. Like, nobody knows that, right? Like, this is a product that's exclusively sold in the Chinese market, so I'm super interested in this one. And some like other stuff like Clarins lip oil and the Dior foundation. Spoiler alert, I basically loved everything that I have tried today. So yeah, let's begin. Well, there's such a big crow. Just the Japanese crows are no joke. They are so big, and super unrelated topic to the makeup, but once I have a giant crow stolen my garbage from me, like a super huge bag of garbage. Okay, that's unrelated. This Dior foundation that's actually not purchased by me. This is a monitor product from a website called, or a company called At Cosme. It's basically like a Sephora, but it's like a Japanese company. And they will have this program you can apply to a product, and if they choose you, you can just receive their normally full-size product to write a review for them. So every time I apply to this specific foundation from Dior, I somehow get it. I think last time I applied to this is like 2 years ago. They just sent it to me, and I even did a review on my channel. And 2 years later, I applied to it again because they have reformulated this foundation. I was curious, so I applied, and they gave me, am I the Dior foundation people, like the marketing people favorite or something like that? Probably not, but yeah, I was lucky to get this the second time. The thing is, they often only have 1 or 2 shades, and the shade that's closest to my skin is 1N, which is still a little bit pale, and this concealer is also pretty light. So today I'm probably gonna have a pretty ghosty face after I'm done with this makeup, but that's fine because I was planning to use this along with the other foundations. I have a couple foundations that's too dark for me. The shade wasn't an issue, but it will be an issue for today because if I am reviewing this, I can't mix this with other foundations, right? So the intro is too long, so let's just get started. Already applied sunscreen, and it's like pretty dried. Oh, I didn't tell you the name still. It's the Forever Skin Glow foundation from Dior. And the shade doesn't look too bad, but the thing is, I find this shade, this particular shade, often a little bit too like pinky for me. So maybe the tone wasn't too off, but every time it's just because of the pinkiness, it's gonna look like a little too light. This is a puff. Came with the concealer, this little puff. I thought to use this to apply my foundation, but I guess it's a little too small. For Dior foundations, the impression I often get is no matter what they say, like it's matte or it's glowy, it's always gonna be a similar like finish, like a natural finish, I would say. It's just if they say it's like a glowy foundation, it will be like slightly more glowy, but still in the same natural family. And if they are gonna say it's a matte finish, it's just gonna be like a touch more matte than other formulas. Like overall, they always have this like a natural finish, which I like actually. I don't like the finish to be like too extreme. Let's see how this applies. And the shade actually is not too far. It's just my neck is darker than my face. And probably because I applied my skincare like probably 2 or 3 hours ago at this point, my skin is a little bit dry. And also because I am having the air conditioner on, so my skin is a little bit dry, and this foundation still applying okay, but a touch hard to spread across my whole face. I feel like it's a pretty natural finish. Like I said, even though this set is like a glowy foundation, it's not like overly glowy or anything. And I drenched this puff with like a setting spray. It should be like a glowier finish than normally if I am drenching the puff with like setting spray, right? But it's not like super glowy or anything. It's actually pretty a natural finish. So if you're expecting a super glowy base, it's probably not gonna do that. Nothing bad to say actually. It's surprisingly super pore minimizing almost. It's super smooth on the skin. And while we're close, let's just use this concealer. The packaging is actually super well made. Like, it doesn't look like a drugstore price concealer. And apparently people really like this concealer in the Chinese beauty community. They say it is a good concealer, especially for its price, and very creamy. I'm just gonna spread this with my finger and then blend with the puff. I feel like this is more on the drier side of a concealer, and this is in the shade 02. What I can tell from this consistency, it reminds me a little bit the NARS, the creamy something concealer, creamy radiant concealer, the original tube one. It reminds me of that. And also, I have to say, I'm not the best person to review concealer. I have not that much to cover around, especially around my eyes, and I don't have like super severe crease or anything, so I can't say like a concealer is good or like very bad. But from what I can tell, this is a pretty mattifying concealer. If you can tell, the area around my eyes are more matte than other areas, so I feel like this is, I don't want to say drying, but it's on the more matte side, and it's looking just a touch heavy around my eyelid, probably because the under eye area is pretty dry. But the heavy is not like a bad way of heavy, it's just the coverage is pretty good, so it looks like a little bit makeup-y, if that makes sense. I think I need to use this more, but right now I don't hate it, and I feel like this probably don't need that much of like powder because how matte it is. I will leave the cheek area half unset because we have a cream blush to try. And I actually have one eyebrow product to try. It's the Judy Doll 3-color eyebrow palette. It's looking like this. I think this is a cream or like a wax, and these two are powders, and there's a little brush here. I really like East Asian brow products because it's not too dark and not too cool, but at the same time it's not like reddish. It's hard to find this type of shade because I feel like Western brow products is either too like dark, it's almost like black, or it's like a reddish brown. There's nothing like in between. The center shade, and to be honest, I don't do that much to my eyebrow, like at all. I just lightly fill in the sparse area with like a super huge brush, and that's it. Like basically this is what I will do every day. For the other side, maybe we can try the wax. I haven't used like something like this in a long time, but let's try. I'm just taking a tiny little bit on the brush. I think from the pan you're gonna see, like you're gonna think that it's a super gray type of color, but on the eyebrow I think it's just the right tone. If it's too gray, it literally looks like blue on this area, because my skin is like olive, warm olive. It can't handle the super cool toned gray color. But at the same time, the reddish brown don't blend with my eyebrow hair either. So this type of like warmish gray color is the best for me, and it's not too dark because I don't like the very dark eyebrow either. Oh, I really like this. The color, the consistency, I like it like both. And also because I'm pretty low maintenance with my makeup, I don't my eyebrow makeup, so I don't really use the wax and like a layer with powder or anything like that. I just use one and that's it. And I feel like either just with the wax or just with the powder, they both work pretty nicely. Have nothing bad to say about it. Okay, next, let's try some eyeshadow. I have two. This one, I think this will be like a pretty great dupe for the Urban Decay. It's like a Space Cowboy or something like that. You know, the Moondust shadow, I think. I think this would be like a pretty close dupe. And there's also a blushy toned mauve matte eyeshadow. I'm thinking to layer this all over my eyelid and have this on the center. And also I will do one eye with the Urban Decay one and the other eye with this to see how close they are. Are they like really dupes? Okay, here is my Space Cowboy one. They're pretty similar, right? Like the glow and the shift you can see. They're both like the silver glitter with like a skin toned base type of thing. This is a soft shine color eyeshadow in the shade M01 or M01. There is a lot of kick off, like just from a little tab, there's a lot of kick off there. But I have one thing I really like is if you can see the pan is like removable. They have a little dent for you to remove it easily. The color is showing darker on my eyes than I expected, but it blended pretty nicely, even though it looks like darker. This color actually almost mimics my natural eyelid color, but a little bit darker. My eyelids but better. You know, like my lips but better is MLBB, so my eyelids but better MEBB shade. But yeah, it really is like that type of shade. It looks like my natural eyelid shade, but just a little darker, which I find a lot of East Asian makeup brands usually do something like that. They like to make something that's closer, like it's like a natural color on your face basically, and they make it either darker or lighter to just like enhance you like natural feature or something like that. I actually really like this because it really gives you definition without adding any colors to your face, if that makes sense. It's not a color that don't naturally exist on human's body. It just looks like a little bit darker and gray than the pan, which gives this natural tone to it. And also, this brand is actually a very affordable brand. I think all of these things all together, I probably hardly spent like $20 something, which is almost impossible if you consider the drugstore brand price of the Western brands right now. They are rising pretty high. The Chinese drugstore or like affordable brands are still pretty affordable, which I really like. The shade G01, I'm thinking this is probably like glitter 01, and that is matte 01. Maybe let's do a swatch first. And from the touch of it and this swatch, I think it's gonna be a dupe. Let me layer it once more. Yeah, they are pretty identical, right? like pretty much the same. If you're looking at this patch, that's like the foundation left on my skin. Okay, I'm gonna apply the Judy Doll one on this eye. It's close to the finish that I will get from the Urban Decay one. But one thing is I noticed that there's a lot of fallout on my face. Like I can actually physically feel it falling on my skin. Urban Decay one on the other eye. I almost feel like on the eye it's not as intense as the Judy Doll one. Right? Like am I delusional or something? But I do feel like this one looks like more intense, and I am layering the Urban Decay one. Like it's a minor difference, but I do feel like this eye, especially in real life, it looks like a little bit more intense. But it's like, again, it's minor difference. But I do feel like I like the Judy Doll one a little bit better, especially because I didn't layer it that much. This I probably right now have like 5-6 light layer of it, and this I just layered it once, applied it once and layered it another time, so like 2 layers I guess. And this is like 5-6 layers, and they're only getting closer right now. Yeah, I actually like this one more than the Urban Decay one. For the whole order, I paid around $30, and this little one is around $5, like $4-5, probably $4 something. And this one is the same, like $4 to $5, and the eyebrow powder is like 5 to 6-ish, and the mascara is like 6-7, like $7 something, and I'll also have like a blush, like a cream blush is around $6, and the powder blush is the same with the mascara, like around $7. So all very like affordable. 7 things for like $30. Next is this eyeliner. It's the Judy Doll Hyper Sharp Eyeliner in the shade Deep Brown. And the reason why I bought this is because of the brush. You can see how thin the brush is, and it has this little angle to it. You can see how thin that is. The one on the very left is from Can Make, and the center one is from Kiss Me, or like Hearing Make, and the right side one is Judy Doll. Like, see how different and how thin that is. I actually have nothing against the other two. As long as it's a brush tip, I basically will just like happy with the applicator. But I have never used one that's this thin, so, and also is this shape. Okay, right off the bat, I feel like this is not super great for filling the gap of the eyelash because it takes a lot longer because how thin it is. But it is super easy to draw the like outer line of the eyeliner of your like eye wing, your wing shape. And let's try to draw some under eye lash. I often do this because I basically got none of it. I had to draw them on. I have a feeling that this will be like super easy to use for that. Yeah, it is very easy because of how thin it is. I can be pretty rough with the pressure that I put on my eyelid and still get like a very thin line. I feel like this is way better to use as something to like do this detailed work and not draw like a thicker wing. So I think I'm just gonna use my normal eyeliner on this side, on the upper side. Like this is way faster for me. For this little brush angle, and why is this like feeling dry right now? I don't know if I love or hate this little angle because I am used to the straight brush, so I'm a little bit struggling with this little angle. But I guess I just need to practice a little more, and I'm kind of doing a bad job on this side. But it looks okay, I guess, from far. Yeah, I just need to practice a little more. But overall, I think once I get the hang of this, this can be like my new favorite to draw the lashes on my lower lash line. This mascara is, I think it's viral because of the wand. It's like looking like a screw. But I think a couple years ago, from Hourglass, I think they had a mascara that's the same wand, and that's probably the first mascara that actually, you know, do something like this. And now on the social media, on TikTok mainly, this is viral because it holds the curl super well. I think it's Nikki Tutorials, right? Or like somebody before her, and then she reviewed this as well, and it got like more viral. Not surprising if this actually holds the curl super well, because East Asian brands usually does that super well because the type of eyelash we have. We often have like a very soft, downturned straight eyelash, and we often have like a oily eyelids, which I have both of them. So I'm curious, will this work on me? This is actually such a natural mascara. I feel like other than the formula being like a little on the drier side, I just feel like the formula is actually thin as well. So I'm not putting on like a lot of product on my eyelash, and it's basically just enhancing my eyelash, which I actually really like this look. But I feel like a lot of like Western people love like the eyelash to be more extreme, so if that's the case, you might not like this mascara. But I just like this look. I want my eyelash to look natural and not clumpy. I hate clumpy mascaras. I don't know how I feel about this comparing with my beloved Make mascara, but I think from the first impression, I think at least I like this. The Make mascara is on the natural side as well, but I think it's a little bit more intense than this one. It's pretty nice. I really like this. Okay, now we have two blush to try. One is this cream, also from Judy Doll. This is their single cream blush. I think I'm just translating the Chinese written in the back. And the shade is 06. This is like a pale pinky toned blush. I feel like on the Chinese social media or the beauty community, people usually really like this type of shade, which I don't really use that much. So let's try. At first, I thought this would be a little bit too pale for me, but blending it out, it actually looks very fresh and natural. It's almost like a natural flush, but for me, it's like a paler shade of my natural flush, which I actually like because I feel like my natural like blush color, like my natural cheek color is a little bit too dark for my liking. So this is actually pretty nice. I think I might like this even more if I'm using it on my bare face because it can adjust my natural flush tone. But I really like this actually. I have light medium skin tone, and I think for the Chinese, you know, beauty standard, you know, we like very pale skin tone basically. Not we, you know, but I'm talking about the culture. In that beauty standard, I'm on the darker side, believe or not. For example, this concealer is a shade 2, okay? Normally people will use 1, I think, and shade 2 is like very pale for me. So I'm on the darker side of the, not the overall population actually, I'm just on the darker side of the beauty standard. I'm probably like, people can bear with my skin tone, but yeah, it's not like the preferred level of whiteness for like, you know, for the beauty standard. So for that type of skin tone, so I probably is not the target audience for this shade, right? It's probably for someone that's like paler, way paler than me. So I'm thinking if you have like super pale skin tone, this will work super nice. I'm just saying on my light medium, like a little bit more towards to medium skin tone, this actually works pretty nice as well. I'm pretty impressed by this color and also the formula. Even though I am applying on a half set foundation, it's blending pretty nicely. It's not moving the foundation underneath or anything. Okay, now we have this blush to apply on top. It's the, again, it has no English name, I'm just translating. It's a gradient blush in the shade J03. I bought this basically because the packaging was very cute. And it's again this pale pink, cool toned pink shade of blush. And the top side is actually a pale lavender shade, and the bottom side is like a hot pink. The shade of pink that's pretty popular a couple months ago, like on TikTok or like on other platform. Basically this shade was a favorite among the Western beauty community, right? And I just thought I want to have an affordable option of this because I don't want to repurchase the Dior one. I didn't really like the formula actually. I am applying a little bit too much, but it's blending pretty nicely actually. I actually really like this. It's just I need to have a lighter hand when I'm applying this because the powder is pretty loosely pressed, but it's blending pretty nicely because the Dior one, I had the Dior one and that one blends a little bit patchy on my skin. This one blends pretty nicely. I just need to really use a lighter hand. And let me blend with my powder brush. Okay, right here, let's apply a highlight that I haven't tried on my face, I believe. It's this Flower Nose super gorgeous Little Angel collection embossed highlighter in the shade Chanting Anthem. This is basically a pale champagne goldeny type of shade. Whoa. Well, this is looking so pretty. It's very, very intense, but it's not chunky at all, which is hard to find, to be honest. Have I tried this one? I believe in the Flower Nose try-on video, I tried the bluish one, and I didn't try this one. But now I feel like maybe I have tried this one. But yeah, I really, really love this formula. This is looking so smooth on the skin. Okay, I think that's pretty much it, other than this little lip oil from Clarins. It's the Lip Comfort Oil in the shade 10 Plum. Actually, the favorite lip formula from Clarins for me is this one. This one was super popular on YouTube. think probably almost a decade ago. Like the British YouTubers really love this one, and I actually think this is one of the best lip formula. If they would change the packaging a little bit right now, this could be like a very viral product because right now that type of product is very popular. Oh, actually I was applying that this whole video. I applied that and then turned on the camera. Okay, that's it. I actually basically loved everything that I used today, and that's pretty much my experience with every single like try-on video of the C Beauty products. I think probably because they are really made for East Asian people, so they are always working super well on my skin. Whereas if I am trying on something from the Western brands, if it's like a full face nude, I always have like at least one or two things, or sometimes even more than that, that's not working for me, either the shade or the formula. I just feel like even though I'm super late on this C Beauty trend, but I'm super happy and I want to try more. And I actually right now I own a brand called Girl Code, I think. Yeah, I probably will try that brand next, but right now I'm very happy with my C Beauty collection, and I probably in the future will do some video of like, you know, top 5, bottom 5, stuff like that, like some more round up video of my C Beauty collection. If you are interested, or if you have any suggestion or request, please leave comment down below and I will definitely check them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.